This is Brock Rydell, consulting geologist of Brixton Metals. I'm here at the Thorn Project and I'm going to be talking a bit about this year's program as well as what we've been doing the last few years. The focus has changed primarily from silver gold, a bit of lead zinc. Increasingly we're interested in the copper potential of the area. I'm here with a couple of skeleton core boxes from the current hole, THN 19-150, a deep hole testing for the first time, the extent of the Oban zone below 400 meters. Went down to about 827 meters in this hole and just finished it up yesterday. Very encouraged by what we're seeing in this hole. There's a fair bit of chalcopyrite, in other words, copper sulfide mineral, looking like pretty good grade, starting 150 meters down and not really dying off, decreasing with depth, but not really dying off until about 600 meters or so, compared with the bottom 200 meters of the hole, looking like decreasing grade. There's also quite a bit of zinc sulfide sphalerite, bit of lead sulfide, galena, which I can't find here quickly, and most of it occurring in this breccia of, in other words, mixed rock with a number of mixed fragments of both the wall rock, volcanics and sediments, as well as various intrusive porphyry phases, all mixed up and commonly cemented by pulverized rock, quartz, and sulfides of various types. And those kinds of rocks create quite a bit of permeability, allowing the fluids to come in and concentrate in fairly high grades, such as these rocks that I'm pointing out here. What impresses me about it from working with the geochemistry is the scale of the system. This is not just a silver gold kind of system. This is a very, very large system that seems to be porphyry finity. The zoning looks like Bingham in terms of its architecture and its scale. I mean, it's kilometers across. Not really sure if there's one or two centers. We think there's very likely a center here at Oban, and very likely a center across the creek to the southwest in the Chivas zone. And but working all that is a complicated process. It takes some time. We've got a really, really good start on it with the geochemistry. It's going to take more drilling to see exactly if we can define those centers and whether ore grade is there in both of them. Chivas zone, most of the work that's been done, there's been really good surface work done by Marco van Riemerskirchen and this year by Jim Oliver. We got pretty good feeling from the surface, the outline of the intrusion. It's a northwest elongate thing, 2-3 kilometers long, fairly narrow, a few hundred meters. There are multiple phases of the right kinds of compositions that produce porphyry copper gold systems. And it's been drilled very insipidly, about 10 holes. Those were focused on the gold fringe around the southwest side of the stalk. The stalk itself has not been drilled. Some peripheral dikes off of it, offshoots off of it, were drilled in hole 149, and they display exactly the kinds of textures that we're looking for, but the pyrite content's a little bit too high. We need to get into the chalcopyrite rich zone, which means we need to probably start on the northeast and drill northeast side of the stalk, drill through it towards the southwest, and I think we're going to hit if we do that. Looked at key holes from all the zones last year, but didn't get around to looking at Glenfiddich. That was quite instructive. I looked at a hole 121. It's only 108 meters long, but they're 108 meters deep. It was angled across the main structures, northeast trending structures at Glenfiddich, and it hit 3 zones of good gold or copper mineralization. One gold with a bit higher up, a thin zone of gold with a bit of lead and zinc. Second one was gold with copper, arsenic, sulfide minerals, as well as pretty good copper in that one. And the third, the most interesting of the 3, you could determine its true thickness. It was about 2 meters of drilled thickness, but when you correct for the inclination of that vein, it's about 1.1 meters thick of a copper arsenic, mostly copper arsenic mineral called enargite, which you find up in the higher grade or higher portions of things like places like Butte. It looked like it ran, I believe it ran 15% copper over that 1 meter true thickness, and that's the kind of things you see high in a system. I'm very encouraged that that might lead us down to something at depth, like, deeper parts of Butte. You see exactly that. The other thing I saw is as you go deeper, the higher level veins decrease, and the veins that are more central in porphyry systems, we call A veins, are starting to pick up, which is encouraging. It's only a 108-meter hole, and it does not test that area to depth.
My name is Soren Posescu. I'm VP Exploration on Brixton Metals. I'm standing here today at the Thorn Camp of Brixton's 100% owned Thorn project. We just finished up drilling a deep hole at the Oban Breccia. It went down to 832 meters. Here's a piece of core that shows semi-massive chalcopyrite. It's taken down to about 158 meters down a hole. You can see chalcopyrite in this piece. It's amazing. Every time we come back here and drill holes, we keep finding new stuff and extending the mineralization footprint of the project. It's an amazing project. Has a very large scale, and we're very excited about it. Obviously, the Oban Breccia was one of our main targets during the phase one of exploration at the Thorn Camp. We've learned that the Oban Breccia goes a lot deeper than we originally thought. The mineralization goes down to about 600 meters, and I like to think that we're getting closer to finding the actual porphyry. Well, Chivas Zone, it's a beast on its own. It is a large geochem anomaly, gold and copper. Also, there's a very large chargeability anomaly that we've delineated back in 2016. We drilled a few holes in 2017. It looks like we tagged into one of the copper-rich zones. This year we've done additional field mapping focused on structure and alteration, and also took more geochem surface samples. The idea for us is to refine them all and come back with an aggressive drilling program and to drill test the porphyry potential of the Chivas zone.
Hi there, my name is Gary Thompson. I'm the Chairman and CEO of Brixton Metals Corporation. The company trades on the TSX Venture under the ticker BBB and on the OTCQB under BBXF. I'm here today to talk a little bit about the recent results on hole 150 at Brixton's wholly owned Thorn project. We completed a hole down to 829 meters. The significance of the hole was that we extended the Oban mineralization to about 650 meters. There was a 550 meter interval that was around 2 grams on a gold equivalent basis, and including in that was about 136 meters at about 5 grams gold equivalent. So pretty encouraging results. It's polymetallic. It's gold, copper, silver, and a little bit of lead zinc. So that's encouraging. It was a well mineralized section of the hole, and even though we cut the hole short at the bottom because the copper minerals were dying off the last couple of 100 meters. But what's interesting is there was about a 40-meter interval right at the very bottom where it looks like it was picking up in gold again. So anomalous gold, 0.15 or something grams gold. So certainly interesting. The objective of the hole was to test for porphyry-style mineralization, and the model that we're using, at least at this site, was the deposit in the Philippines called the Far Southeast. And so we have some similarities to that project. It's a high sulfidation system, and they had this diatreme breccia that they were drilling down, and ultimately led into a very rich, deep porphyry on that project. One of the important factors about the hole is the fact that we saw an increase in mineralized porphyry class within the diatreme. We had seen class previously, but they weren't mineralized, and the fact that we're getting mineralized class in this diatreme is quite encouraging. I think it suggests to us that we are close to the porphyry source, and that's going to mean basically that we're going to need to do more drilling to to actually prove up that there's a porphyry deposit here. But certainly encouraging, some good high grades, some spiky high grade copper numbers, I think up to 5% copper, and we're getting some good gold numbers. So I encourage you to have a look at the release, look at the details, and have a look at the website. That's BBB on the TSX Venture.